Hey everyone, Boardgame Brody here with Meeple Mountain. I have a prototype copy here of this hand management resource getting game, Maple Valley, which is in the same world as Creature Comforts, and it's published by Kids Table Board Gaming. So the snow is gone and it's beginning to warm up again. Yes! And the critters of Maple Valley are preparing for the annual spring festival. Well, you and the other local children are tasked with searching the woodlands for the ingredients to make some amazing party favors. You will assemble yourself in groups of friends and then work together to make sure that the festivities are ready for the festival. The game plays in 5 rounds, which resembles 5 hours in the game. Each round you will play all your friend cards from your hand, and you will start with 2 at the beginning of the game, and you will gain more as you play throughout the game. So let's get right into this game. Each player will have a player board, which is designed to be your pack to place your stuff in, like a backpack. What stuff? Well, you have 10 cubes that can be used mainly to be placed on one of the 3 festivity cards. Your maps will go here as well. Curiosities such as bugs, pebbles, and flowers go here, and you will start the game with 1 of each. These are one of the types of resources in the game, but different from the goods, which will be placed over here. Curiosities are distinguished by a blue star icon, where the goods are marked by a brown asterisk. Then each player starts with 2 favor cards to be placed on the left of their pack. You are trying to complete these by picking up the needed resources, either goods or curiosities or both, and these cards are similar to the ones seen in Creature Comfort. But they have the points that they are worth shown on the top right, the category the item goes to shown in the icon on the top left, and the cost to make the item is shown on the left side. And extra ways to score additional points are shown on the bottom of the card. Now, you can only hold 3 of these unfulfilled cards on the left side of your pack. If you have more, you will need to discard them at the end of your turn. But if you have 4 or 5 of them, but you have enough resources to fulfill the card by the end of your turn, you won't need to discard any of them. When they are completed, you spend your resources and move that card from the left side of your board to the right side of your board. And since we are already talking about this, when you do this, you will be able to place 1 of your cubes on any festivity card of your choice on an icon that matches the favor card that you just completed. These cubes are important because they are worth points at the end of the game, and they will be worth more points if you have the majority of your color of cubes on a certain card, more than what other players have. And at any time when all the spaces for the player count are full, the event shown on the bottom of the card is triggered, and usually all involved players with the festivity will benefit in some way, with the last player who placed their cube on there getting an extra benefit. So we have favor cards that will give you points, and when you complete a favor, you will place the cube on a festivity that will possibly give you a benefit when triggered, but also points at the end of the game. So now, how exactly do you go about gaining resources? Well, the last thing everyone has in their player area are friend cards. These cards are used to move your critter pawn on the main board. Everyone will start here in the village, and on your turn, the first thing you will do is you will play 1 of your friend cards. These cards can be different one from another because there is a travel type shown on the top left of these cards. This is either water, rock, or forest. So whatever type is shown on the card, you will leave whatever your starting location is using the matching travel type of your friend, following its path until your critter moves to a new location. Now you can travel as far on the trails as you can, using as many trails of the correct type as you want. So if you're using a rock path, you can move all the way to this location, as there is a rock path that goes up here. But you can also stop on any of these other locations to take their actions if it benefits you more. So your friend card tells you what path you're going to use. Also, everyone starts out with a very good friend who can do any of the 3 paths. Not all of them, but you can choose which one you want to use for that friend. This friend helps you when you're stuck in a location and don't have a specific travel type that you want or need. Now, the other addition to your movement is when you decide you want to spend a map token. Maps let you move 1 extra movement or 1 trail of any type. This can be used prior to your friend card or after your friend card. And these map tokens make it so that you can go to locations where you want to more easily. But remember, they will help you move just 1 segment of any type. Whenever you move and there is a curiosity token along the path of your trip, you will take the matching curiosity resources from the supply and add it to your pack. When traveling on the board, you can never travel along the same trail more than once in a single turn, but you can return to the same location that you started on if you find a loop to do so without using the same trail more than once. Also, as you play, you can share locations with other players, so get used to high-fiving each other as you pass around the trails of Meeple Valley. Now, the card that you use also shows a benefit that you can use on your turn. Each friend might have a different ability, so you can plan to use specific cards in different situations, and some of these effects only trigger if you take a specific action, while others give you something no matter what. But the ability is listed on the bottom of its card. Once you are done with your movement, you will activate the location your critter ends up on. As you can see on the board, there are different locations that you can visit, and they can do different actions. So let's start with the groves, which are the spots with the leaves. There are maple, oak, and beech groves out on the map with different type of goods that they hold. When landing on one of these locations, you will take either one of each type shown or two of the same of either type. So 2 goods total. Also, each round there is a new sun token that comes out with a listed good shown on. When you forage, which is what you're doing here in the groves, you will collect your normal 2 goods, but if you collect the same good shown on the sun, you will collect an additional good of the matching type. When visiting the village, which is this spot that you start on, you can make 1 friend by spinning the curiosities shown on the bottom of one of those cards. You will return those curiosities to the supply and take that friend card and move it to the tired slot in your pack. It's recommended to place it underneath your already played out friend cards. This is good because you have more friends and you can do more during the following rounds. More cards is more turns and more resources coming in and more points at the end of the game. The lookout here will give you 2 maps, which are great to help you so you get to locations that you want to visit. And here you also gain a favor card of your choice from the display. The clubhouse will let you place one of your cubes on any favor spot on any festivity, lets you take a favor card from the top of the deck, so it's a random favor card. You don't know what it is until you take it. And it lets you collect a patch of your choice. Patches give you powers and also provide points. Some patches have abilities used for the rest of the game, some are abilities used for 1 turn, and others are abilities that you get more points at the end of the game. Patches that tell you to travel on a specific type of path work just like maps do. You can then place a cube on top of that patch to show that you used your benefit for this round. The lodge, which is here, lets you collect 1 favor card from the deck and another one from the display. And all of these card slots, be the favor cards, the patches, or the friend cards, they always get refilled when you take one of the cards. Alright, now there are 2 outposts, and these will vary from game to game because you place different cards here each time you play the game. And actually, each grove will produce different goods as they are randomly placed out as well from game to game. But anyways, the outposts have 3 different trades that you can make. You can do any number of trades in any order unless it states there's a maximum of a stated number that you can do that. After doing all the trades that you want or can, then you use the outposts effect shown on the bottom of that card. But these outposts will let you trade resources that you might not want to ones that you might want more. The last spot is the bluffs, and when you get here to the top, you will gain 3 goods of the type shown on the sun tile, and then you will immediately zoom to the village where you can activate the village and perform its action as well, gaining a new friend. So, you have played a card, traveled along some paths, and you have activated the location where your critter stopped at, and the last thing that you'll be able to do on your turn is to craft favors. If you have the correct resources to craft any of your unfinished favors, you may spend them now to craft them. So you will spend the listed resources and you'll place the card from the left side to the right side of your pack, and then you will add a cube matching the category and place it on one of the festivity cards. Once all players no longer have any friend cards, the round ends, and you will get ready for the next round by first advancing the sun, and you will flip the current sun over and place a resource type of the same type as shown on it, because there are some game effects that will reference past sun goods. You'll place out a new sun token for the new round. Cards are recycled in each display by taking the last or the furthest card from the deck and discarding it to place out a new one. This is done with the favor cards, the friend cards, and the patches. All players will then take their tired friends from their pack and reset them into their hand to use again, and they are now fresh. And then all players will announce how many friends they have total. Everyone except the player or players that have the most friends will draw dawdle cards from the deck until all players have the same number of cards in hand. Lastly, the worm token is passed clockwise to the next player. The new round then begins following the same rules, except when using a dawdle card, you will take the shown resources instead of moving your critter. This card can be played anytime during your turn, and then after 5 rounds, final scoring is performed. Players will gain points from the points shown on their favorite cards, both on the top right and on the bottom if they complete the additional tasks. Most friend cards will have points shown on them, which you will add to your score, plus points shown on your patches. By the way, you can only have 4 patches total. And your leftover resources are worth points. Map tokens are worth 1 point each. Your honey is worth 1 point each. And then each combination of 3 goods or curiosities of other types are worth 1 point. Lastly, the player with the most markers on the festivity earns 1 point per marker plus 3. The player with the second most markers on the festivity earns 1 point per marker plus 1. And any other players with markers on the festivities earns 1 point per marker. You add up all these points, and then the player with the most points wins the game. And, well, that's Meeple Valley. It's a great family game, as my kids love it, maybe because it's all those resources that they can gain, and the little critters and the friends that they can find and make. And what I like the game too, because there are some good hard decisions that need to be made. I play the game in which I try to optimize each turn and be efficient in each action that I take. And the puzzle and choices each turn is really good. And for me, it took some extra time trying to figure out how to maximize my turn to be more efficient. And I took that approach of getting as many resources as I could. The more curiosities I got, the more friends that I could get, and the more goods that I could get, the more favor cards I could complete. But what I did was got as many resources as possible, and then later in the game I picked out favor cards that I had the resources for already. And doing this, I had less choices as to what cards I was choosing from. I just wanted anything I could complete. And I ended up with a lot of excess resources that I couldn't use as well. My daughter, for her first game, she decided that she was going to complete her favor cards a little slower than all the other players, but she decided to get specific favor cards so that she could score the extra benefits shown or the bonuses on the bottom of those cards. If one required a specific one, she would get it, or whenever it showed up, get it, and she stretched her favor cards out to get the most out of them. My son, he decided that he wanted to take advantage of the bluffs as much as possible, going up on the board and back down over and over again. Now, he is 5, and he understood how to use his friend cards, but he just needed some help planning a little, as his strategy was to get those resources from the bluffs and then go back to the village to get another friend card. He wanted more friends than the rest of us. He needed help to make sure that he had enough curiosities each time so that when he made it back to the village, he had something to spend to find a friend with. Now, we all went for a couple badges, but another player could definitely focus more on the badges to gain advantages and have the flexibility to do whatever they want pretty much by using those benefits. Another focus is using the outposts. These trades will be available the entire game, so whenever you have the chance to gain extra resources that can eventually be cashed into other things that you might need, then you should. So you take advantage of those trade offers, and then you can take the offer shown on the bottom of that card. And we had one where you spend a map to go whatever location on the board that you want, and then take the action in addition. So we ended up comboing the outpost then with the bluffs to gain 3 extra points, and then you zoom to the village to gain a new friend. It was a big combo turn. Some turns are set up to be awesome like that, but some are just normal turns with no extra bonuses. But as time continues, you will have more badges and more options. So as the game progresses, you can or you should take advantage of everything that you can. Now, I like the design. I like in real life you want more friends to help you. That makes sense, and they will help you back by giving you more action. Sometimes it's challenging to connect all the stops that you want to take, but other times you connect it up with your cards and things just line up perfectly. And I mean, it really is possible to get from the bottom of the board all the way to the top of the board in about 2 or even 3 turns if you take the right paths. But just because you can doesn't mean that you should. And that's where you need to weigh into some of your other options and visit some of these other places that might benefit you. Maps will help with flexibility, and you will eventually need to make it into those middle locations to gain more favor cards to complete. But which one should you go to? Because they all offer at least one of those. Well, they all have benefits, but you should figure out which one is better for you, or maybe have a plan if you need to go somewhere else after or before there. You might need to string your turns, planning out where you can go from turn to turn with the cards that you have, keeping your starting card with all the 3 travel types handy. Mechanics are solid in this game. It's a very balanced game, as my strategy versus my daughter's strategy versus my son's strategy were all very close in score. I'd anticipate the components in this game to be solid, like the Creature Comforts components are, and the game is quicker to play than Creature Comforts, and if that helps your decision in getting this game. And I mean, I saw a lot of solid gameplay the first time that I played the game online and was just so happy and excited for what I saw initially. And after playing the game in real life with this wonderful prototype, I am just blown away by how good it is. And really, I just can't wait for the final upgraded components that will come out if you're looking for a cute critter game with rules that kids can understand but still have some strategic choices mixed in with it. It plays in about an hour and a half, and it holds less luck than Creature Comforts does as well. Well, if so, then you should wait to collect favors with your family and friends in Maple Valley by Kids Table Board Gaming. Again, this is Board Game Brody, and I hope you enjoyed this video. Stick around and check out some other board game reviews to see what you might want to get to the table.